And should be starting now. Okay. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of QuattroQuattroDos. Like always, I'm Cristian, and today I have two special guests that actually I have a whole list of people that I want to talk to, and not specifically them because I didn't know that they ran the thing, but I wanted to talk to somebody from Dynamo Fans For Change, and just because I was interested in the whole group and the whole idea, and I got in touch here with I forgot your name. I know Hector is on the screen, but what was your name again, bro?
Tony.
Was it
Quinones?
Quinones. Yeah. Terrible with names. So I got Tony and Hector here, and they're gonna talk a little bit about Dynamo Fans For Change. It's like a giant group on Facebook that basically is about a whole bunch of fans, Dynamo fans, that basically just give their opinions, their ideas, and there's a lot of good discussions that goes on there. I don't know who wants to go ahead and get started and just kind of introduce yourself a little bit. I don't know if you want to go, Tony, first.
Sure. Well, I'm Tony.
Yeah.
No, but we started the group. Man, we started the group out of frustration is what happened, actually. We had that terrible loss versus Atlanta United. Remember the 5-0 where Ellis got kicked off in the first 5 minutes? Mm-hmm. And I've been watching the Dynamo for 3 or 4 years, and I became a season ticket holder that year, and I was going to every game that I could get to. I actually went to the CONCACAF Champions League games versus that team from Guatemala, Guastatoya, I went to those. That was great. We were held up 2 hours because of the rain, but that was tight. It was good. It was a good game. And we just from there, my love for the Dynamo grew a lot. But then I started realizing, because when you're when you watch them, but then when you really start getting into something, you don't realize all the nuances, oh, this is why this person did this, or really this is going on behind the scenes. And I got more into it. I just started getting upset. Why are we so terrible on the road? Why have we been so terrible on the road the past couple of years? And, just why are things the way that they are? So I got really frustrated, and I started a group. I was sitting on the couch with my wife, and I was like, babe, we should name this group. And I was like, I don't know. We were just going back and forth about it. And then I was like, football club, Dynamo. I was like, got it. DFFC. It works. Right. So it was actually really surprising because I started the group not thinking anything was going to happen at all. And overnight, I think 2 people had got in after the game finished, because I turned the TV off. That was just a horrible game. It's just one of those things where it feels like when Ellis was gone, we had no momentum going forward at all.
Yeah. And
it was super frustrating. So I turned the TV off and I just went to bed. And I think overnight it had 101 people join. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I'll be for real. I spammed it in the after the game was over. I was join this group, and 100 people joined, and then from there, it's kind of where I met Hector, because I didn't realize too, a lot of the soccer, the Dynamo fans, since it's not a huge community, everyone's pretty tight knit, and somebody knows somebody. So even from there, shout out to the Surge. They got in contact with me. It was right before they formed up, but 2 days before, and they're great people too. So we got into contact with just everybody. But I met Hector, and just putting in a survey, because I knew that I couldn't do it by myself. So I'm a small business owner, so I have other things going on. I have my wife and family and just stuff you do on the regular. So I was like, man, I need some help. So I filled out this survey and I sent it out, and Hector, as well as Oscar, Alex, we had a couple other people fill in, and they seemed like good people. So we had a phone conversation, and we were just talking about that earlier, where apparently it was Hector's birthday and he was in Austin when he called me. You can chime in whenever you want, dude.
No, you're good, man. I mean, honestly, you're saying, this was out of the blue, but it was just time, man. It was just time for some change or someone to be heard. But
No, good. You're good.
no, so yeah, so it's just that day I remember specifically it was we were gonna go. I was gonna go out, but then this came up and I was like, hold on, we're gonna have to postpone this for a little bit because we're trying to we need to see some change in the city now. So that's what we're trying.
That's what's up. And so now the group actually grew. What I just checked like 2 minutes ago, and y'all are up to 745 people.
We were at 755, but I think some of those are like, when you get groups, you get like spam accounts, and we go through them all the time. But yeah, we're going up there. Hopefully soon enough.
And the crazy part is it grew that fast, but honestly, it was like I think almost the season was almost over too.
Yeah, it was mid-season. Yeah.
So,
but I gotta admit, the Dynamo they were having a really hot start to the season. I mean, and it's one of the things in the meeting that they always told us, like, this is the best start of the season we've had. This is the best start of the season, and it's just like, okay, that's great, but it got bad really quick after for the international break. That's what it was. Everyone left, so we didn't have Ellis, we didn't have Boniak, we didn't have, I don't know if we had Maynard or not, but we didn't have Kiki. Yeah, we didn't have Kiki because he went to Slovenia. We didn't have a lot of people, so we were stuck with I hate saying it, but we were stuck with like the B squad, and they just weren't up to it.
Yeah, the depth in the team for sure it was not up to par for like a team that wants to be competitive. Like, yeah, if you have some guy, obviously that this happens every year. Like, there's always like international breaks, and especially like if cups are happening and stuff like that, like, which is almost every year nowadays. Like you said, we should have at least some guy to replace this guy. But one of the questions that I wanted to ask you is, how did you guys get in contact with like the front office? Like, how did that happen? The whole like scheduling meetings.
That's Go ahead, Hector.
Oh man, it's honestly the power of social media is mad crazy, like ridiculous. It's so powerful nowadays. Honestly, it was emails. We had a couple members that are willing to that were willing to help take time out of their day to go and write an email to the front office or go to the front office and say, hey, who's in charge, and try to gather as much information as we can in order to even get our foot in the door.
We had one guy, I won't say his name, but everyone knows who he is pretty much. He actually found Gabriel Brenner's and Oscar de la Hoya's and a couple other people's actual addresses from like going into like public records, and he sent our actual grievance letter, right? He sent our letter directly mailed it to their houses in California. Damn. It was actually, it's really funny. So we know that after we talked to John Walker, we know that Gabriel Brenner actually read it and was like, what's this? How did they get my my address? And it's like, Google, bro.
So how did those meetings go? How many first of all, how many meetings have you all had with the front office people?
So unfortunately Hector wasn't able to make the first one, but we were with the guys from the Peel. So there was Justin, Josh, Edson. Had Edson on last time. Shout out to Edson. He's a cool dude. Yep. Shout out to the Peel too. They're awesome. But we were with them because they reached out to me and they asked me a couple of questions. I think when they restarted the Peel, out of the blue too. It was just like, I think it was what Hector was saying was like power of social media. Like, I feel like it just takes one person to say something and actually have the drive to actually kind of say something loudly and try to do something about it. Not even actually physically do, but have the, motivation and just go do something about it. It can really cause a chain reaction. But they had reached out to me out of the blue and they're asking me questions and they were there with us. We had one of our admins, Olvin Osorio, and Oscar came with us as well. But we're all there. And it was one of those things. I guess how it started was we made our grievance letter. We had I set the group from public to private, but I know that there was people from the front office, or at least Yeah, there are people from the front office
in the organization
in the organization that were part of the group, and they didn't do it. It's not ad malicious. I know it's not. I'll 100% say I really enjoyed getting to talk with the front office. They're pretty cool people. But they were in there, so they knew everything was coming, and they knew the PDFs that we had up more than likely. So it was literally the day before we were going to send it out. The night before, they actually put it on Twitter, and they were like, "Fans, we hear you. We know there's frustration. We know da 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 da." And we're like, you kind of killed the surprise, but whatever, keep going forward. And I think John called me that morning. Sent me an email. John Walker, he sent us an email before, and he was like, "Hey, do you guys want to meet tomorrow?" And I'm like, "You can't really spring something on tomorrow. Everyone's busy." Yeah. But I think that was just his eagerness. I want to paint John Walker in like the most positive light that I can. He's a really cool dude. If you ever have the chance to meet him, like that guy has he really does have my respect. Great guy. But I think he was just his enthusiasm to actually hear, fans and honestly want to try to do something. And you can tell that that's the vibe with the front office, is that they're trying to do something, but I mean, they're severely limited by what ownership wants to do or doesn't want to do. I think that's all football clubs, but I think we have that reputation of kind of being cheap. And I mean, even when you look at the stats, we're one of the least spent for sure. But even our ownership group, they don't have as much money as the other ownership groups do. I'll just point out, like SKC, they're owned by some biotech company. I think I might have told you already. But they're owned by like a medical company, and they have like tens of billions of dollars that company's worth, and they have ownership of SKC. Mm-hmm. But us, I mean, don't get me wrong, they got money. Brenner, Oscar De La Hoya, Silverstein, Bengal, they got money, but it's not medical biotech research company money. You know what I mean?
That's a whole other dimension.
That's another dimension, yeah. But
different tax bracket.
For sure. No, we know that's not there, and they're super limited by that. But the first meeting, I guess I know I ramble a little bit, but there's a lot of backstory, right? I had a conversation with John Walker for like 10, 15 minutes while I was going to work. And then we set up a meeting, and I reached out to my mods, my admins. I reached out to the guys from the Peel and like Edson too, because he had some RGV questions. Besides that, I know that they were people who they know the organization way more than I do. Mm-hmm. And I know that while I can be a voice, it's much better to be quiet and say something that means something versus be loud and say something that doesn't matter. Yeah. So they really helped me get my footing as far as the Dynamo goes, like who's who and how things work, even like some of the TV deals and stuff like that. They know that kind of stuff, and they're well versed in it. So it was great to have them part. But the first meeting was good, man. I can tell you that the first meeting we felt like we were listened to, and you could feel that they really wanted to hear us out, hear what we had to say, and see if they could accommodate that in the best way possible. It wasn't just lip service. I will give the FO that for the first meeting. That's yeah.
Cool. And did you guys get to talk only to John Walker, or it was Matt Jordan also involved?
Matt Jordan was there. Yeah. It was John Walker, Matt Jordan, Katie Scallon. I think you talked about marketing last time. Her and Deanna, as far as the marketing goes, and like some of their ideas have been fire, dude. It's really good. It was Deanna Witter. It was Zach Emmon, and two other guys that have, and I forget their name, but it was a pretty good panel of people. Yeah. And they had this whole thing out, and they had cookies, and I hate saying this because it makes it sound bad, but like I was super hungry because I was expecting them to actually feed us. Yeah. So they did, right? They had like some tacos, but they're like, and I hate to say it this way, but they're like white people tacos. So like they weren't good. They were horrible.
Funny.
They were horrible. I remember Edson ate one. I was like, hey, bro, they good? And he's like, nah, man, not really. I was like, all right.
That's from Monterrey's talking about tacos.
Yeah. So, but I mean, shoot, if you grew up in Pasadena, you know tacos too. Right. Like, you really do.
Yeah, Houston tacos are tacos too.
Yeah. So, they even had beer there and whatnot. And like, Walker's like, you're not gonna get a beer? I'm like, bro, I gotta drive, and if I get pulled over, even with one, bro, like it's not a good idea. Yeah, but the first meeting went well.
Yeah, so like y'all talked about like was it more like soccer, like soccer stuff, or more like club stuff, if that makes any sense?
I think I still have it on this computer.
I know a lot of people were like, when I first started, like I got into the group, I know there was a lot of people complaining about the season, the seats, the movement of the seats and stuff like that, which I know is understandable, you know, if you had a seat for forever and they're like, hey, you know, scoot over. I know that obviously I'm pretty sure there was talk about that, but I guess was there also like, when it comes to like, you know, players and
sure. I can actually give you our list. I pulled up the letter. I have it right here. So before, we asked the group, like, hey, what are the biggest things? Like, what are honestly the biggest things that we need to talk about? Because they only give us like 90 minutes. I think it was like 2 hours, 2.5 to 2 hours, what they actually gave us at the end of the day. And they only had to leave because they did have something else that they, like some press thing that they actually had to be at, or something for the dash, I think it was. But we did a survey. I like doing the polls on the page and people, because it helps me get a rationale of what to go behind. But you can't talk about a bajillion things and expect them to answer each and every one of them. So we had to really try to focus. We had 5 of them. So it was like there was lack of investment in quality players. One was Wilmer Cabrera, in like actually Wilmer Cabrera, because like he just, his coaching was bad, and you could tell that. I mean, I can give you the actual wording. It was like verbatim. We felt like he wasn't qualified for the level of play, and his firing is only a symptom of the decline in performance. Because and everyone kind of, the open secret, I guess, is like he didn't have he wasn't very well liked among the FO apparently, and he was losing the locker room too. So there's always that, you know. I can't blame the actual players if they don't like the guy that they're, you know, working for. Yeah, you can't. It's hard to stay motivated. Yeah. There was lack of value for season ticket holders, empty stadium, and no soccer culture. That was I have those are like the key points, and then I have like a paragraph for each one of the things, which you can see that on Dynamo Fans For Change if you look into our files on Facebook. It's all there for anybody to read. But a lot of it just really stems down to money, right? So like if you have endless money, you can do whatever you want. But and obviously, you know, it's thinking that like Brenner's going to sell the club and stuff like that. It's not going to happen. So the thing that we wanted the most, and that what I told John and Katie and Matt was like, even if like, I understand that the front office can't just cut a check for like $100 million. They just, I mean, it's unrealistic, right? So I was like, the best thing that they could do is have, even not in front of the fans, not all the fans, because some of the fans, you know, some people are kind of jerks, right? In front of the season ticket holders, or have an open forum and just get some questions answered. Like, why haven't we invested in quality players? And when we say quality, it's not like I will trash talk one player because I just don't like him, and that's T-Mac.
Oh, here we go. T-Mac. You brought him to this now.
Yeah, like I just like there's it's whatever. So sorry, Tommy. I don't think that you're worthy of the shirt. Sorry, dude. But the players of that caliber, that it's clear like they're just not there. they're not there yet. And it's like, why are we getting players from, South American player who is unproven and he's cheap? And we found out that, well, I found out, right? Some people already knew, but that's kind of like the Dynamo's strategy. And like people, the business model is like buy cheap players from South America, develop them, and hopefully sell them high to Europe. But hasn't really happened yet. Maybe it'll happen with Mauro Manotas, and I really hope it does. The dude definitely deserves it.
Yeah.
But like that was like one of Matt Jordan's things where he was saying diamond in the rough, and it's like, bro, you've only found one. Like,
Yeah.
It's not. You gotta start digging more, man. It's only once kind of, it's worked out for us so far. But if the ownership would have even meetings like and it can be organized in a way where it's super civil, right? Where everyone just, hey, I have this question. Could you please answer it in this way? Like, if they did that, I told John, like, that would mean so much to like a vast majority of the fans. Like people would see that because people don't know, right? Because I don't know Gabriel Brenner, I don't know Oscar de la Hoya personally, right? So I can't make any judgments based off what they hear or how much they care or don't care for the team. But if they did that, it shows that they have a vested interest and that they care, and like you can do pictures and stuff like that hey, they're at the front office and da 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 da, but that doesn't mean anything, especially not to all the fans. You want to have some kind of like, hey, this is our ownership group. They're willing to answer some questions. They're willing to, hang out with you guys and talk with y'all. Obviously, they're busy and whatnot, but if they can't make some time, then what are they doing?
Yeah, what's up with
But
that?
that kind of stuff, though, I guess, inspired the little town hall meeting that they did, or that they wanted to have, is those ideas, right? It's like, well, we're just gonna get a bunch of fans and we're just gonna let them answer questions and stuff like that. But I mean, obviously, people want answers, but you being like the Dynamo being, a brand, they can't just answer everything and anything just all willy nilly. There's legal stuff, there's NDAs that that
Correct.
players can talk about and stuff like that.
Correct.
So a lot of people don't understand. I mean, a lot of people are really diehard fans. Like, yeah, like we really appreciate, but the problem is there's rules and regulations, right? There's not just things that you can just come up and say, well,
Yep.
you need to spend $500,000 on this player. It's like, okay, well, that that's easy for you to say, but how are we gonna get it if you don't come and show up, or you don't come and support, or a lot of people are saying, yeah, we even if we get one big player, for example, I personally feel like the soccer fan base isn't gonna be there for that one player, realistically speaking.
What do you, in your opinion, for example, because that's my next kind of like question or idea that I wanted to get into, which is like the potential of like Houston being the fourth largest city in the United States and having like one of the biggest, like not only Hispanic communities, but like most diverse in the whole
Yep.
United States. And like,
Yep.
soccer is like a worldwide thing. So obviously most cultures, soccer is like the main sport. What do you guys think is like missing for, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if it's the club's fault or I don't know, the people, or what do you guys think?
I'm gonna be really honest, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tony.
Sure.
It's not about players, right? Because look at Austin FC. They literally just signed one player,
Yeah.
as far as public wise, but who's doing all the like marketing? Matthew McConaughey. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I get it. Dynamo got Harden, but Harden has other stuff to do to worry about than his investment here. Because I mean, Rockets are paying him very well. So I feel like it's not about, oh, who can we get and this and that. It's actually
Say
the
again.
passion for people want to do it. Because Matthew McConaughey, even though great actor, respects him, like, and then he being a owner, part owner of one of the um I guess it'll be a rivalry. I guess I don't really see it as a rivalry because it's Austin. You can't really be mad at Austin, but I mean, I don't see it that way. But it's just impacts, right? But look at Beckham, right? So it's like, with it's just a lot of people don't understand that. It's like, okay, well, even if we get players, like I said, are they hungry? Do they want more? Like, do they want? Because back in the day, Robertson Stadium. That's all I have to say. Dynamo. I mean, yeah, they came in fully stacked, to be honest. But I mean, we represented them because Robertson for playoffs was mad sold out all the time.
Yep.
Never
Yep.
failed. I don't know if you were there when the Robertson era happened, but it was a whole different atmosphere from what it is now, because it was literally just everyone happy that we got a soccer team.
Sure. I think now that we're beyond that and we're at BBVA and the club's been around for a while, like it's natural for that to die down a little bit, but we also haven't really done anything to merit that. But I agree with Hector basically 100%. It's not about the players, because even if you look on paper, like we have a really good team. Like that's a solid team. There's nothing wrong with any of them, minus T-Mac. but no, there's really nothing wrong with the team on paper, but like it's just putting them together. And I know for me personally, like watching Wilmer when he was coaching and whatnot, you could tell like it just wasn't there. Like he didn't there wasn't a focused mentality. And then when Davey Arnaud stepped in, like it wasn't an instant change, but you could tell like the players were way more relieved. They felt more composed. And now with Tab, we haven't really seen too much of it yet, but everyone has confidence, and we gotta trust Tab right now that he's gonna pull through, and he's gonna make things happen. Hopefully on Monday, and hopefully we can get a win or a draw versus LAFC, and I think that would actually speak a lot to him on what he's doing with the team. But
whole year.
Go for it. Go ahead. No, you good.
No, I'm saying this whole year, it's we can't really. It was gonna be regardless a year. We were gonna be like a little tryout, I guess you would say.
mm-hmm.
So really, I mean, I wasn't really expecting a lot. I can't speak for everyone, but I wasn't expecting a lot. But you can see the difference now. Even I'm sorry, Tony, but even in Tommy, like you can see the difference now on how he used to play before, and now they switched him up to. I feel he feels more comfortable playing up there now compared to.
Some people say it's the hair. Some people say short hair Tommy is no good, but long hair Tommy is legit. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it's the hair.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
How do you guys feel about Tab Ramos? Because obviously, I mean, I'm new to the whole like United States soccer culture. You guys, well, Tony knows that I'm Argentinian, so like Boca Juniors is like my thing, and like Argentinian soccer and all that, right? And like it's been like maybe 5 years, maybe 4, that I've became like a Dynamo fan, like all in basically. So obviously like Tab Ramos to me was like not in my radar basically, because obviously 94 World Cup I was like 2, so like obviously he wasn't in my head. But obviously when you see somebody like him like step in as a coach or like get hired, with being the first MLS player to ever sign ever, being a coach for like the young academies or whatever of the national teams, and like all the things that he has done. Did you guys see that like as a big move? Like, did you guys feel like y'all were listened to in a way? Because it's a big name, like in the coaching way.
In the coaching way, I think Hector was the one, because I'm right there with you. I'm not a I watch Mexico. That's
Yeah.
I watch El Tri. That's me. I don't really pay attention to U.S. soccer. I pay attention to it more now, but Mexico's my thing, and Monterrey is my team, and it's funny, and I'm sure it's like this with most people from Monterrey. You're either with Rayados or you're with Tigres, and that's how my family split right down the middle. So it's always fun. But even like my uncle, surprisingly, my uncle who doesn't watch MLS, he's a diehard Tigres fan. He has Tigres painted in his garage and stuff like that. He's like, hey, you guys got Tab Ramos? And I was like, what? I was like, how do you know? He's like, he played for Tigres and he was good. Like, he was great. He goes, that guy could play. I was like, oh, well, yeah, he's going to be the coach. He's coming in. And Hector was the one who told me. I was like, is he good? He's like, yeah, he did legit with the, the U20s or under 20s, whatever it was. and he's got a good pedigree. Like he really does have a good pedigree, soccer coaching wise. So I mean,
let me chime in on this, but I mean, I understand, okay, so Tab Ramos, I mean, a lot of people don't really, I mean, if you know soccer like back in the day, then he was a pretty good player. He was an amazing player actually. But back to what we're saying about the Dynamo, the model that we're seeing is train them young, sell them so we can get more income, right? That would be the main motto that we're going for here. And him coming in and literally right off the bat, like now, I think what we signed three young ones.
yeah,
And back in the day when Wilmer, right? This is rumors. I mean, like I said, rumors. He never gave him a chance. Never gave him the young ones a chance, and expected, you know, the the front of house to just whip out money and just say, hey, we need this player, we need this player. But I mean, I get it. It's not all about the money because it's coaching as well. So, I mean, personally, with him, I really think that we're gonna be focused more on young, the young culture, because honestly, that's the future. Realistically speaking, look at Messi. Look at how old he started when he was with Barcelona. Now, obviously, it's two different things, right? But you got to think about it. Look how much passion and look how much stuff he puts on for that team because that team gave it all. So I think that's kind of like what the Dynamo are aiming for. I'm not gonna say, I mean, money wise and stuff like that, but I mean, I feel like if you're 16, 17 years old and one of the coach says, "Hey, I want you for my first team," you're gonna give it your all. No matter what you do, you're gonna give it your all. And
yep,
either you're gonna get recognized somehow. You got
yep,
LAFC, you got everything like that. I mean, MLS is big now compared to the second division, right? But MLS is pretty big due to the fact is now there's more options to choose from, I guess you would say, when it comes to going and playing and money wise and stuff like that. Because a lot of people say it's all about the money, but I feel like MLS, it's you don't really get paid what you really need to get paid personally. But that's just my opinion. But I mean, you do it for the love of the game. I mean, it is what it
yeah.
is.
No, definitely, 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 definitely. I think I can agree with you on all points, Hector.
Did you guys talk about the academy stuff in those meetings too?
We did.
Yeah.
So we talked specifically about Marcelo Palomino, and then we talked about the academy. With Marcelo, because everyone knew that the deal had fallen through. This was like last year, around this time, that the deal had apparently fallen through. So we were just like, well, what happened with him? We heard he was the bomb.com. We heard he was, he was it. So why didn't he want to join? Did he feel like he was cheated, or did he feel like some sort of way? Did the DFL give off some sort of way to him? And I think with the firing of Cabrera, because some of the people that are in our group, they're parents of the academy players, and they're letting us know some stuff like, hey, Wilmer doesn't look at the kids. He never considers them. He doesn't do this and this and that. So it's just piggybacking right off of what Hector said, is that, with Tab coming in and actually Matt Jordan, I think it was Paul Holliker, right? He brought in Paul Holliker, and he pretty much told us, like, and this is him being as honest as he can be, right? And just being as straight up with us as he can be, is like, I'm gutting everything and I'm starting from ground zero. So like I can respect what he's doing in that aspect. I'm not sure if Paul Holliker was already intent on coming or not, but if he really did bring him in, that's a good, it's good. Yeah. That's really good. They're trying to address that, because I think that what ended up happening with Marcelo was that since they felt apparently it was that since his family felt that they weren't getting the best deal that they could, that's why they went and tried out for Manchester and for Porto. But obviously didn't work out too much over there. So they apparently renegotiated. Now he's on the team. So that's good. That's good for him. He's able to play for his hometown, and I'm hoping that he does really, really well in the tournament too, and that he gets some good minutes in, and we can really see what he's got going on.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, like I was telling Tony before, or like when we texted or whatever, I got also invited to one of these meetings or whatever, but it was like for the fans or whatever, and I was gonna go in with like academy questions, just because when I was younger, when I was in high school, I was going to try out for the academy, but it was like the whole process is like, you know, you got to pay to play, unfortunately, in this country.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I knew, and I played with like a whole bunch of guys that were like so much better than me, you know. And I was like, man, for sure, you know, like you see him play, and you're like, for sure, this guy, if like somebody would see him, like he can make it like a pro, you know, like 16, 17-year-old kids and just killing it out there. But the whole like situation that, you know, we were like, I'm not saying it's all their fault or anything like that, but like, you know, when you don't have the resources to like put down $200 for like a 3-day weekend or whatever of tryouts,
Sure.
you know, that was gonna be my question. Is like, is there anything y'all can do to like, you know? But I guess they're trying to fix it. You know, because I saw a lot of talent kind of like move away, or, you know, just because of the circumstances. Like, you know, I'm trying to go for my hometown thing, because that was back in the day that the Dynamo kind of, well, it was in '06, right? But '06, '07, I was in high school. So like, you know, a bunch of high school kids that were, I actually played with a guy that I was actually played for the academy. But yeah, I guess the academy wasn't what it is turning out to be today. But
Yeah, there are definitely some stories too.
It's good to know that, you know, with Paul Holliker, with, you know, Tab Ramos being like a kind of like a double signing, like a head coach for the first team, but also like a good pair of eyes for the younger kids, you know?
For sure.
Yeah, they got, honestly, Dynamo got a pretty good deal to get both of them, to be honest.
Yeah. And also that place, like, you know, we were talking about the whole culture, like trying to bring a soccer culture into like Houston, basically. And like, you know, having the younger, because obviously we all, you know, you, Tony, you're from Mexico, and obviously like our age and older, like usually they stick to their own countries and their own leagues.
Yeah.
You know, they don't really watch the MLS. You know, like my dad doesn't really watch it. But if we can get to the younger guys, you know, our age and younger, I think that's where the love for the team, and like you see with the Surge, you know, like they're the new kids in town, but they're the younger kids. Like they're probably our age. I'm 28.
Yeah.
I don't know how old you guys are, but you know, the Surge, El Batallón is like a good mixture of like the younger guy, like second generation Hispanics, I guess you can say. Texan Army is more like, I might be wrong, but it's like more like the white guys. And then like, but you see like the culture kind of shifting into like the, you know, the millennial type thing. And but you know, that was my question for you guys. Like, how do you guys see, like, how can we like not rebrand ourselves, but like, how do you guys see this new wave of like the younger guys?
I mean, it feels like, go ahead.
Let me just ask you this: what made you become a Dynamo fan?
Because, well, me personally, well, you know, I love soccer. Like it was my life, and I was like, you know, and when I first started watching the MLS, I was really big into Portland for some reason, just because in my head I saw their culture, and being, you know, being a Boca Juniors fans, and obviously like, you know, you bleed blue and yellow basically, and I was like, I want something like that but closer to home. And I was like, well, you know, Portland is, you know, they're good, and look at their stadium and look at their people. But I was like, it just feels wrong for me, because I consider myself a Houstonian, even though I was born in Argentina. Like, I'm a Houstonian, you know, and you know, I'll support the Rockets, I'll support the Astros, I'll support the Texans. It's not my sport, but I was like, dude, I have a team 30 minutes away from me where I can go to the stadium and I could help build that culture. That's why I started like the podcast too, to like kind of, you know, put my little grain of salt in like building your soccer culture here in the city. And basically so I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna be a Dynamo fan. And I was like, they might suck, but you know, if you're gonna be a fan of a team, you have to be with the team in the good times or the bad times. And I happened to jump in a shitty time, but you know, it is what it is. Hopefully I'll see them win a championship in the future, and you know, I'll be there.
But now, when it comes to culture-wise, right? It's kind of difficult, at least in my eyes. It's kind of difficult to, not gonna say rebrand ourselves, because now if you're talking about, you could ask Tony, when Monterrey played here, how was it?
It was great. There's a lot of people there. There was, you know, flags and people playing, and there's a lot of people, and like it feels different. Like you in Tigres, the Dynamo played Tigres, and there were more Tigres fans than Dynamo fans, like by like 80%. So I mean that stadium was yellow; it was not orange that day.
No, and that the people are here, right?
Yeah.
The people are here. People that are supportive and everything. People are here, but I'm not gonna say they're all, fake fans. I'm not gonna say that, but it kind of sucks that we only start seeing a lot more people when it comes to, oh, Dynamo are in the finals, or
Yeah.
Or playoffs or what. I know that what got me personally into it, like what maybe just like for you, bleed orange and black. It was U.S. Open Cup. I went to the championship game. I wish I would have been at the LAFC game because I heard that I saw the highlights, and that's a good game too. But I went to the final game. We beat Philadelphia 3-1. That was great. Getting to see them score some goals. I saw Amaro, score a goal basically right in front of me. It was cool, and there's a lot of people there. It still wasn't full. I think there's still plenty of sections that were empty, but like it was more full than usual, and I really enjoyed the atmosphere being there. My wife turned my wife and I both into like just really really big Dynamo fans, and from there that's when I started watching the CCL games, and then I started going. I became a season ticket holder, then started going to all the games. I took my dad, but like you had mentioned before, like he's older, he's gonna go from Monterrey. He's gonna watch Liga MX no matter what.
Yeah.
And then for me, like I can't go to Monterrey all the time. We go fairly often, at least once every 2 years, but I can't go to to the stadium and go watch a game whenever I want to. So even though it's really close, it's still not home, right? So. And then what you were saying before was like the dynamic is definitely shifting. I feel like it's like changing, like it's a changing of the guard, like the surge and all the younger people that are joining. They're the new people. They're bringing in different culture, implementing it in different ways that are really good actually, and I like what they're doing. And then there's just the older people who go back to like the Robertson days, which it's still great. There's a lot of tradition. There's a lot of good things about that, but maybe it's just not what we need to impact the younger people, because older people know how to impact older people a little bit better, and the younger people know how to influence and impact the younger people better. And what you were saying before was like as exactly what I told them in the fan meeting, because we had a what's it called, a like a little group, small groups, and they're like, hey, how do we get, like they're honestly asking me, how do we get in with the Hispanic, like that market that they're still trying to get in there. And I was like, dude, you got to get to these kids when they're little. Like that you really do. You got to go. That thing that Memo and Boney did, I think it was some other people, like it was like 100 kids versus 2 soccer players. Those kids are going to remember that stuff for the rest of their life.
Oh yeah.
Right? How many kids you go around, they're gonna be like, oh, I met professional soccer players and they play soccer with me? None. Like very few. So the more community outreach and the more outreach that they do with the younger kids, the more fans that they're gonna see. It's like they're just planting a seed, right? They got to plant a seed, but they got to keep watering it. It's gonna grow. Yeah. And they're gonna have families, and they're gonna be like, hey, let's go to the Dynamo game. They might not be like die hard fans like you and me, but they're gonna be like, hey, that's my team. Let's go watch them. Let's go support them. And that's how for me personally, that's how I think it's gonna happen, because even for me, it took me so long to actually want to watch MLS, because for so long it was considered sub quality soccer, and it's just a retirement league and stuff like that. So, but once that. Yeah, it's changing a lot. And I saw it for what it was, and I was like, man, this is actually really cool. And there's no other soccer around, so it's either I can complain about it and be like people from from Europe, or I can embrace it and make it my own and try to make it better. Yeah. And I think that's even what Dynamo Fans For Change was all about, is trying to embrace what we have, try to impact and influence in a positive way. Just anything that we can do for the team.
and also the fact that, you know, we are a new club in a way, you know, like we're only 15 years old.
Correct.
You know, we started, you know, the club started being a different club. So it's like sometimes, I mean, me, like I see the cups, you know, 2006, 2007, and I'm like, yeah, you know, they're Dynamo championships, but, you know, they're kind of like half Dynamo, half San Jose.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we won them with this crest, you know, but you know, now it feels like we're kind of gaining momentum. Like that generation had to pass, like whole Robertson's, you know, of course it's history, but like, you know, me, of course, being a Boca fan, you know, it's like a club of 100+ years. And obviously now they built it into like a household name. And, you know, obviously I don't want to be too like negative on the Dynamo, because, you know, they're trying, like at least it seems like they're trying, you know, with this mini pitches here. Like I think that's a great idea, putting like
It's a good idea.
soccer
It is a
fields
good
everywhere,
idea.
you know, getting the name out there, getting the colors out there. Like all the marketing that they're doing. I mean, you even mentioned like
Marketing is fire. Their
top
social
notch.
media is good.
Videos are good. Like even the
Yes.
wallpapers that they do on Wednesdays are like
Yep.
iPhone changes every week. Like, you know, like, and now I'm getting into the dash, and like, you know, that's being fired too with the new jerseys. And like, you know, it's like a whole change that we're seeing. I mean, I like it. I mean, I'm gonna be here forever. So
Yeah. Hector, I don't know if you want to chime in, but I mean, I know for me, like the marketing that they're doing is really good. I think what frustrates most people, and I hate to point it on like one person or a group of people, I'm going to put it on a group of people. What frustrates most people for sure, is ownership and Matt Jordan. That's what frustrates most people. I'm not saying Matt Jordan's doing anything wrong. I'm not saying he's not doing anything that's not wrong, because I met the guy, and honestly, I have respect for him. But it might be an unfair formula, right, that I'm going to put out, but there's, I think maybe even, I don't know if Edson said it or someone said it in our group, but there's 3 coaches that we've had, and there's one constant, Matt Jordan. So
okay, so I agree with everything you just said, right? But you got to think about it. I mean, marketing is doing phenomenal.
yes,
You get, you know, I'm not gonna say you get what you pay for, but a lot of these kids are young. You know what I mean? This is the like the apart from, you know, the managers and stuff like that. Managers are voices. I mean, it's their ideas, but it's, you know, the graphic designers, and it's like everything else that sit there. Yeah, you know, they spend hours and hours, because making those graphics isn't easy. I'll tell you that right now. All those things are difficult to do, and the crazy part is I'm so surprised that they're still putting that much passion towards it for the, I'm a pardon to say, for the measly pay that they're getting. Because I mean, look at LAFC. They don't, their marketing is pretty good, but it's LA. You know what I mean? It's
it markets itself.
yeah,
yeah. What do you? What I mean, Houston is Houston. We you know, we the H. You know, we Clutch City. That's what we are. But I mean, the great thing about like this is, you know how we talked about it earlier in the podcast when y'all said we're planting the seed, right? So the seed is already planted with the two new coaches, that they're the ones that are gonna bring new people coming in, and, you know, the younger generation to be excited about everything and anything, um when it comes to the culture. And then the culture in Houston is just amazing. You have the Be Someone sign. They, you know, H Town, hold it down, like all those sayings. You got candy paint, slabs, you got everything, you know, like that. And only the younger generation and the old generation will understand that, if you're actually into Houston. So the Houston people will actually understand everything when it comes to our culture wise.
very huge. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, you can tell all those people making all these videos are from the city. Like,
Yeah,
bro.
like, you know, and pay them more. Come on, front office, pay the kids more. They're doing it.
I, as a business owner, I understand they had to lay off so many people, so I don't know if they can technically do that right now. But once this is over, for sure, pay them more.
Pay them more. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But no, man.
So I think we could probably talk about like the club for hours and hours and hours.
For sure.
But now let's talk about. We could probably do another one some other day.
For sure.
But let's talk about a little bit of soccer. You know, we're about to almost play. Like we waited forever to play 2 games, and then now forever to play a few more games. So how do you? Obviously, the group that we got is not the easiest group. LAFC,
rigged. I'm gonna say it, rigged.
Yeah, you're one of those.
Yeah.
First off, shout out to the Dash because the last game that they played, big difference.
2-0. Yeah, the 2-0.
Big difference.
Oh yeah.
Big difference. But when it comes, I don't know about rigged. I think it's I think we just need to prove a point, bro. Like
for sure. No. There's that. There's that. I'm not saying it's rigged in a way that's gonna design for us to lose. I'm saying it was rigged in a way like, so you got Cascadia, you got El Tráfico. Who else got together? I think that obviously Inter and Orlando, they're gonna be in the same group. There's so many rivalries that got the draw, right? And then you saw what's his face pulling the balls out of the thing for the draw, and it's just like pick me first, pick me second, like that. They could have easily written on that, you know. But whatever. It just seems too good to be true. So I have my tinfoil hat on about that, but it's fine. And Hector's absolutely right. It doesn't mean we're going to lose. It means that we have a point to prove. If we prove the point, great. Like we're proven wrong. All the naysayers are proven wrong. And if we don't, like it sucks because even the naysayers, even though they might be wrong, it just gives them more ammo to go based off and just vent their frustrations.
Yeah. Hey, before we talk about soccer, I wanted to ask you guys because so I enjoy the group, I enjoy all the polls and stuff like that. But I want to get y'all's opinion. I mean, if you want to, you don't have to chime in, but
sure.
There's a lot of people. I'm the type of person that if I'm gonna be a fan, I'm gonna be a fan. Like I said, on the good times and the bad times. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's a lot of people that kind of maybe are new or maybe not. But like one of the things that would piss me off the most was like when people were like shit talk, because obviously the team was not doing good. In my head, I would always tell my wife, and I was like, "Hey, you don't have to be a fan. Become a fan of LAFC if you want to. Like, you know, like you want a team that wins."
But see, that's your roots. That's your soccer roots right there coming in. Because in reality, we can't tell people, well, you can't if you don't like them. You know, everyone's gonna have bad games and stuff like that. Everyone's different. But I feel like we shouldn't be too hard on the people that are expressing their opinions. I mean, frustration is frustration, and I'm pretty sure that, let's say the Boca Juniors, right? Mm-hmm. They have one bad game. Everyone, I mean, some people are gonna, shit talk. I mean,
for sure.
It's soccer, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, he could have, le podía pegar con la izquierda, or blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? So,
no, that's for sure.
That's the way I take it, and I agree with you 100%. But I personally wouldn't put it that way, because at the end of the day, we're here for the team. We're not here just for that person to ruin our experience and everything.
Yeah.
We have to remember too that even the people who vent those frustrations, like, they're not doing that to shit talk the team. They're doing that because they're frustrated, because they know that they know the team can be better, so they have that passion for the team. It might not be might not be like in the right like way that they're doing it, but you have to realize that at the end of the day, they want the Dynamo to win too.
Yeah,
they want them to be the best that they can be, and they're just probably a lot of people are they've been fans since the club was created. So they're used to like the wins, and they're used to all this kind of stuff. And now they're not seeing it. It's like, man, it was so much better back in the day. And that's why we talked, like I said, the changing of the old guard is like, so people are used to this, and now it's changing to people that are used to the struggle. And the struggle of being like a Houston Dynamo fan is we can be so inconsistent, and it's funny, man. I laugh a lot of it, and not laugh because it's like it's like scoff or think it like I'm better than them or any way like that. It's just like it's some of it's genuinely funny, but I understand at the end of the day that, you know, that's your soccer roots. That's where you come. You already know, right?
Yeah.
You already have the expectations, and some people, they have different expectations, and it's going to be different. It doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means that that's how they feel, and they're allowed to feel that way. You can be criticized if you feel that way too, that by the other people too. So you guys gotta be open, and as long as no one gets their feelings hurt too much, you know, it's all good. But I think we all just want the same thing. We just want them to win and to keep winning.
Yeah, and I mean, and y'all do a good job in like keeping it, and
we try not to let it get. Yeah,
it's so hard. Oh my God, it's so hard.
There's sometimes where I disagree with somebody so bad because they make something that's just honestly a dumb comment or a very ignorant comment or something that has been said repeatedly, and they still ask it, and just like, but you can't, and you just let it slide. And there's some people who are honestly they're mean, dude. Like they're being jerks to other people, and it's like, nah, you get muted, bro. You chew.
That's good.
So, yeah, I think that's one of the rules in the group is don't be a jerk. If you're gonna say something, again, if you're gonna say something, mean it. Say what you mean, and if you're gonna say something, just say something.
Yeah.
It's not appreciated.
No, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, that's the only way that you can get to have like a peaceful conversation in a way.
Well, not only peaceful. I mean, you got to think about it. Everyone has different opinions, right?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, again, we're no one to tell you who you can or can't, like or blah blah blah. But that's how everyone learns. Like, for example, Tony I'll say hates him, but doesn't like Tommy, right? Like we've established that from the get-go. but I mean, like I said, now I can see where they're coming from because I'm not gonna say he's a glue, but now the last 2 games that we saw, I mean, yeah, he's been fucking up left and right sometimes, but sometimes he'd be giving good through balls or crosses and stuff like that.
He was so the funny thing, I'll give you a quick story.
I agree, and then I disagree with him half the time.
Quick story on that one. John, I mentioned this to John Walker one time about Tommy McNamara, and I don't know if that's like the right thing to do or not, but I mean, I'm blunt and I say what I feel sometimes, right? It might not be in the best ways, but whatever. I told him, I was like, Tommy McNamara, you gotta get him off his team, bro. And he's like, what? He was man of the match. I was like, he fell into the goal. I was like, he Naruto runs, bro. Like, I'm not even kidding.
That's funny.
But anyways, it's just Hector's right.
Let's get back to the conspiracy then.
Let's get back to it. Yeah.
So how do y'all see the first game? I mean, knowing that Vela is not going to be there, I mean, he has obviously not like, the whole team, but he's a big part of it,
Stop you right there.
Yeah,
Dynamo. I feel like the Dynamo. I'm not gonna say just because it's a love-hate thing. Because now if Dynamo went, they're gonna say, "Oh, Vela wasn't there.
Yeah,
Gio
wasn't there." Bro, what? Like, y'all can't give us nothing.
Yeah. They didn't need Vela to win when they came home. When they beat us at home, he didn't even play. I think it was Diamande who got. Diamande is so good, but it was. They didn't need him to win, so I'm still a little bit shaky. But again, they're not playing we have a lot of things going for us, right? Everyone's fresh. They're not playing. They're playing in an environment they're not comfortable with. They're flying all the way from the other side of the states to Florida. There's a lot of stuff to take in.
Not used to the humidity.
Yep, they're not used to it at all.
Yeah,
only
time will tell.
Yeah, I think Justin and Josh with Appeal said it the best. I think that if the Dynamo can absorb the pressure for the first 30 minutes and the last 15 minutes go at it and try to hammer as much as possible, I think that's how they're going to win. I don't know if Bob Bradley is already anticipating that, but if Tab can exploit that and do something with it, I think we can get a really good result. And for me, a good result is going to be a tie or a win. But if I had to give a prediction, I'd probably be 2-1 LAFC.
Damn.
I think that's what's going to happen right now.
2?
I think they're just going to get 2, and we're going to get 1. For sure.
Oh man,
I
I honestly don't. I don't think so. I think it's gonna be a close match, but I think it'll be.
It'll be a close match. No, it'll be a
It,
close match. If anything, we're gonna Houston Dynamo it up and concede a goal in the last 5 minutes.
nah,
But
bro. I don't know. I want to agree with you. I understand this is probably my passion, but
yeah,
I I don't see it. I don't think. I mean, paper wise, they're stacked. Don't get me wrong,
sure.
but man, you got to think about it this way. We got a whole worldwide pandemic. You uh, the only thing that right now to watch is this.
Yep.
You're the headliner at this point.
Yep.
So how much of an impact would the Dynamo make if they win the first game? Like, yeah, it's one game, but it's LAFC. Like,
No,
it's
this game's going to be super important. It's going to set the precedent for the next two games and how they feel for these next two games. So if they even feel like they played good, I think that they're going to have a really good shot of going through.
See, when it comes to this game, I might be in the minority, but I disagree in the whole staying back and let them come in and attack and then going all out. Like I said, I might be in the minority, but I think, well, obviously we are known as a counter-attack team with at least, being like a freaking bullet on the side. But I
Yeah.
think if we put the pressure on them, I think we can probably. I mean, I don't, like I said, I might be.
Catch them off guard.
But yeah, let's go a lot. I mean,
There's no reason not
we
to.
have Manotas, Ellis, Ramirez, Memo. Like, if we put, like, we have really good talented like attackers in a way. I think if we can, if we put Matias and Moniak in the middle to hold it down, and then and just trust that the four up. I mean, that's who I would start in the four.
Yeah.
I think we can get in there 1 and
There's
2, and then we can probably wait for them after that. But I think we should go out all out first. But I mean,
I'm in the, like, you can either be the hammer or the anvil, right? We can hammer, right? We can hammer, and we can be the anvil, but I think if we were like, I think we would break first from all the pressure that LAFC can put on us. Probably less now just because Carlos Vela isn't there, but they still got Tuesta, they still got Rossi, they still got Letty Blessing, Diamante.
they got the team, yeah.
They got the team. So I mean, if they can get those first the two, like you said, it's not. I don't think it's going to be one of those things where, like, get two and then park the bus. Which I know you're not saying that either,
Yeah.
but absorb the pressure. It's going to be get two and go get more because it can easily go against your favor. LAFC did that with LA Galaxy in El Tráfico for the playoffs. That was a crazy game. I loved every second of it, though, even though it wasn't my team. So it was a crazy game.
Yeah. And even like Hector said, this game is literally going to set, or I don't know if it was you or him, but it's literally going to set the tone for like the rest of the other matches. Cause you're playing after that, you're playing Portland.
Yep.
And then after that, you're playing LA Galaxy. So it's like, you're playing big names, and that confidence of beating LAFC is gonna stay high for the Portland game and
for sure. If we beat them, like, we're winning the group. Like, they're going to be riding so high, and hats off to them if they do. If they win, we're winning the group. Like,
and it's all hunger too, because now you have young ones, right? So you have. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna start, Palomino, but I'm just saying, like, even if he plays, gets a couple touches, then the next game he's gonna be like, all right, coach, like, I think we can do it.
Yeah, I think so.
And I mean, regardless, it's all momentum, right? It's all momentum. Honestly, if we score, I personally think we might. I mean, this is me shooting for the stars, but I personally think we could score 3, and those are all gonna be through balls, like long balls, because at least there's no stopping him.
Nope,
like
there is
at
not.
all.
Yep.
The only time you will stop him is you better hope you're at the edge of the box, because if not, it's either gonna go in or it's a penalty. One of those two. It's just there's no. But what I've noticed a lot now for the last 2 games, or the games that we played prior, before the pandemic, they're shooting a lot more from the outside, a lot more from outside 18, and which is what we've needed, like, for the longest.
Yeah.
We've needed that for the longest, because every single time it was, you got to go in the box, you got to go in the box, you got to go in the box, and it's like, bro, the 6-yard box is the goalie's. He's not gonna let you get anywhere near that box and expect to just score like that. Like, it's not gonna work like that. But at least always, I mean, I don't want to bring this up, but I'm just gonna say a player that was that got moved to Toronto.
Montreal.
Or I'm sorry, to Montreal. Um, yeah. He as much as people really didn't like him, he threw in a couple nice little crosses for Elise and finishes and stuff like that. And they were all from outside the 18. And that's the only way that you can do it is outside the 18. Personally, if you really want to contest the goalie and see what he's actually got, because if you're a goalie, that's your box. You can't let anyone pass your box. Like it's just the way you should have been like bred to say no. This is my box. There's many others like it, but this is my box.
For sure.
Yeah, 2019, Dynamo was literally trying to get in there with the ball. And, like,
Yep.
it was me screaming at the TV, like, shoot the guy.
Shoot. Yeah, I know. It wasn't just you screaming at the TV. It was a lot of people in the stands, bro. Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, hey, and when it comes to Kyoto, I mean, like, again, I might be in the minority, but I like the guy. I mean, obviously, he probably was a shitty guy. but I mean, obviously, like, the straw that broke the camel's back was that red card, that dumbass red card that he got, that literally, like, messed up the whole team. But, I mean, if he would have solved those problems, those anger problems that he had, I think he would. I mean, he was great because you had Ellis on one side and him on the other, and we were killing teams. I mean, the ones that we got to kill, you know. But, I mean, yeah, I liked him, but I can see why people hated him.
And Ellis has a lot to prove again too. So if he wants to move, or if he wants to have more negotiating power,
you don't think that the scouts are gonna look at this game?
They're gonna be there. Either be looking through the TV and just keeping an eye on them. Yeah, for sure.
This is either make or break him. Like honestly, if he really wants to go to Europe as much as he says he does, and he's worked his butt off to get where he's at now, and he's proven it. But Europe is no joke. Europe is in MLS. It's a whole other ball game whenever you're in Europe. But only, like I said, only time can tell, and it all depends on hunger when it comes to the young cats. Because I mean, anyone could say, "Oh, well, I have an all-star team," but it's like, okay, they know they're good, so are they gonna actually play like they want to play, or everyone's gonna be selfish? And realistically speaking, to me, the way the Dynamo are set, the mood, the marketing, and everything like that is just setting, it's just setting the tone for Monday's match. It's Monday, right? Yeah, 13th.
Yep.
For us to do something about it, because I think they're just tired. I know Elise wants his contract. I know the majority of people are tired of losing, or tired of seeing, tired of being that that team that says, oh, it's just a Dynamo. Oh, it's just a Dynamo. Yeah. It's like
even Beasley, he said it. I think it was on Soccer Matters, or I forget if it was Soccer Matters. It was another podcast that he did. He's just like, I'm tired of losing. Like that part of what he said, I could honestly go one more year, but I'm tired of losing. And even besides that, like he kind of knew he was on his last legs, and he wanted to get more into like a front office role, or get into more of a coaching, or being part of a team. He just had other things that he wanted to do, and losing doesn't help.
Yeah,
I honestly think winning the Open Cup kept him on for that next year. And it might have been something that he already had before, but I think that definitely helped. Winning the Open Cup helped him stay on, and it was great. It was great to watch too. But yeah, man, it's there's a lot riding on a lot of different players, even Mauro too, because hopefully the FO doesn't screw up the situation like they're screwing it up right now with Elise, right? But even with Mauro, like he's got something to prove there too, because he can go to Europe, and he definitely deserves to be a part of a European team if he wants to be over there, and I think he does. So it's for everybody. It's not just for the people with contracts that are up. It's everybody has something to prove, and I think that they know that, and I think that they honestly want to just go out there and give it their best. And honestly, I just wish the best for them. I do. I'm gonna be watching the entire time.
Manotas is scoring too, bro. I'm telling you right now. His birthday's coming up too. Boy, and you're in Disneyland. Come on now, Chief.
It's a recipe for success.
Yeah. You got Mickey Mouse behind you.
Yeah,
you ain't lying.
All right. So we're approaching like about an hour and change. Do you guys want to do another one after the first 3 games?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
If y'all
I
want.
think I'd be down. Yeah,
No
for
pressure,
sure.
no pressure. But it'd be cool just to look back at those 3 games.
I think so. It'll give us a little bit more to go based off of. It's still not a whole season, but it's something we can get based off of.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. I'm saying right now, Dynamo are winning 2 out of the 3 games.
All
They're
right.
tying 1. They're
Who are
not
they
gonna lose.
Who are they losing to then?
No, they're not losing. They're just tying.
They're just tying. Okay, who are they tying against?
Yeah, who are
I'm gonna say Portland. To be honest.
Really?
To be honest, Portland. Yeah. To be honest, yeah.
No,
But I'm pretty.
we got the Portland killer. Is Manotas?
Hmm. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they learned their lesson. They should know how to contain them by now.
I mean, if they didn't, oh well. I mean, that's kudos for us, right? But
Yeah.
if I'm gonna go based off of yours, we're tying LAFC and we're beating Galaxy in Portland for sure.
Well, I had Portland going first in the group stages, and I got us going second. So
Okay.
and then LAFC is gonna make it as one of the best thirds, but Galaxy can go back home right now. I think honestly, I think LA Galaxy is probably, well, I don't know, but it's gonna be the weakest team out of that whole group. But that's just me.
Hey, you can't count LA Galaxy out, dude. Because
That's just
I
me.
mean, I would love to, but man, they always just grab it out of nowhere, man. It's just like, what just happened?
Well, they don't have Ibra anymore, and as much as I don't like Ibra,
Bro,
he
and
Go ahead.
I went to go watch that game. Well, we played them, right?
yeah.
Funny enough, the player that I picked as like their best player was Katai. So
Yeah.
So I mean, they don't have them.
He's gone too. Sorry, Katai.
Yeah, no, but I think we'll do good. I mean, obviously, I'm shooting for the stars at this point, but I believe in the boys. I don't
For
think they're
sure.
gonna let me down. And if they do, just don't invite me to the podcast anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah.
You can talk crap.
That's either gonna age really well or it's not, dude.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So
No, we got it. We got it. I'm not gonna say we got it in the bag, but we're going up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all hopeful. I think we have a good team, a good coach. I mean, the marketing is there. We just got to put out the product.
Yeah, that's for sure. Put out the product, and the fans will come.
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole chain reaction of things. So
That's right.
This is gonna be, I think, a decisive moment in the history of
Sure.
Dynamo.
Hey man, if we go all the way and we win it, that'd be a very interesting piece of silverware that we're gonna have that no one else will ever have.
That's for
So
sure. Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. They can do it. I'm not gonna say they can't. They can do it. They for sure can do it. But just got to get out there. You got to see what happens.
For sure. So yeah, Dynamo Fans For Change on Facebook. Is that the only way that they can find the group?
Hector, you manage our Twitter. We're not very active on the Twitter, but
the Twitter, because there's just a lot of things going on, right? Because it's like you have the new Dynamo, then you have Web Tilton, you have Generation Orange, you have a Foxtrot, you have like a lot of Twitter names.
Yep.
So it's kind of, I'm not saying a competitive market, but I mean, we're trying to, I guess not say compete with them, but we're trying to, help each other out for the most part. But they're a little bit more active on that. But you can follow us at Twitter at DFFC as well. Dynamos for Change, or at DFFC _ 1, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
So yeah. So right now we're crazy part is we got people from France.
Oh, that's right.
Europe,
yeah.
That are following us as well from there, and then they're over here, pretty much doing the same thing we do, talking about the Dynamo, seeing what we can do, and it's all in French, right? So
wow.
So it's cool to interact and tag each other and stuff, and it's pretty good.
Yes.
All right, yeah. So everybody, if you want to be part of an exclusive group of Dynamo fans that you can put your opinion out there, no matter how wrong you are, no matter how right you are. If you talk shit, if you're a dick, you're gonna get blocked. But you
That's
can
right.
voice your opinion out there. And Dynamo Fans For Change. Well, I usually get on the Facebook group a lot. That's where I see most of the stuff. And But yeah, I don't know if you guys want to shout out your personal social medias or you guys just want to stay anonymous.
I stay out of the social media space, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah, we chilling.
I like to chill, and I like to, when I voice my opinions, I'd rather it be about soccer than anything else.
That's a good way to stay mentally healthy.
That's right.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. But hey, thank you, Tony.
There's a lot of trolls too, but no.
Go ahead, finish your thought.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, so yeah, so basically, just thank you for taking some time out of the day. I think we talked for like about an hour and a half or so. I mean, I like the conversation. Soccer is like, sure. If anything involves soccer, I'm there.
Yeah, no, definitely, and for sure, we'll probably catch each other at a match next time. We can have a match, or next time we can actually finally all get together, not having a social distance as much. Hopefully, we get over all this.
Like Hector was saying, like the soccer, I guess not culture, but like the soccer Twitter culture, it's kind of big out there. Like the Dynamo people are like very, very active. So hopefully, we can get, someday that we can just, every match is gonna be a packed house and we can
let's
go
do
out
it.
there and,
Let's do it, man. It'd be fun. Yeah. For sure.
Once again, if you guys want to follow the show, is QuattroQuattroDos, QUATTRO, which is the Italian word for cuatro or four. So it's QuattroQuattroDos on Twitter and not on Twitter, just on Instagram. And then Chris Putalias on Twitter and Instagram. So if you guys want to go ahead and follow me and just, comment, what you think about the chat and all that stuff, you can just comment there. It's also going to be on YouTube, QuattroQuattroDos YouTube channel. Go ahead, subscribe, and do all that stuff. And hopefully you can get you guys next time, and we can talk a little bit more soccer.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Chris.
For sure.
I really appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much.
Y'all be safe, and we'll watch the games, I guess.
We'll watch the games for sure. We'll be in contact. We're going to be talking about it. Take care, man.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.